All right, let's try that again. All right, we are back with another pick'em video. Going to be going over my favorite plays for the NBA today. There's 6 games in the NBA. One of them is starting in a few hours, so we'll touch on that one early. And then we're also going to be touching on a little bit of NFL because there's a free square or a discounted square for Amon-Ra St. Brown that we'll touch on a stacking opportunity for them. But if you're new to this channel, definitely go ahead and subscribe. Leave the video a like and then comment anything down below. It just helps YouTube push this video out for more people to see. But if you're new to this channel, we go over our video picks every single time. I show you them. It's not just me saying, oh, we had a bad day, let's move on. I show you them exactly what happened. I kind of talk about them typically for 30 seconds or so. So I'm not hiding anything. We did have a pretty good day yesterday, so want to go over that. Durant and Giannis, really good calls in the same game here. Giannis didn't even get to half on the first quarter points, and then Durant, in a high scoring game, in a close game, didn't even come close against Milwaukee either. So a lot of people were on his combo of, I think, rebounds or points and assists or something like that. I just saw a little bit more value on the fantasy score under, and it made more sense with the blowout potential. It didn't happen to be a blowout, but crushed it there. And then Wembanyama, a little bit of a sweaty one, but he hits a 3 with like 4 minutes left to get over there in a pretty close matchup with Washington and San Antonio. LaMelo DNP'd, and then Rudy Gobert looked good pretty much all game. He was going to be right around there. We knew it was going to be sweaty, but just came up short in a game that he had like 18 rebounds or something like that. So if you maybe pivoted to his rebounds line, that was the way to go for sure. But we'll take the profit any day of the week, and let's jump into the board and kind of go over it. So we're on the NBA right here. Do you want to just point out real quickly that NFL stack that you could do? I don't know why nothing's popping up. There we go. I don't know what was happening there, but Amon-Ra discounted for another 32 minutes. Again, this one is starting on what time? An hour or so. So you should have a few minutes to get this in. Amon-Ra over 74.5. You can combo this with Goff, obviously the quarterback. If he's going over his reception or his receiving or passing yards, the receiver should get over there. You could put Laporta in this as well. So I like that combo. And then you could also do Baker. Just totally game stack this. He's been crushing this line. You can see the past 5 games here. But everything looks good with like Mike Evans. You could go to Otten here. You could do just overs on all these guys. I think it'll be like a 9.5 payout shift, which isn't the worst in the world, especially because they're very correlated. So you could go to Evans. You could go to Otten, who had a huge game in the first one. This is kind of a way that you could use this discount if you see it in time. But let's jump into the board for NBA. That's kind of what we're here for anyway. Good football games today, so I'm excited to watch them. But some solid NBA games as well. So let's get into some value here. We'll go over the games that are starting earlier on. So let's go to Westbrook real quick. I like his 21.5 under. Again, you'll have about 2 hours to get this one in, maybe a little bit more. But under 21.5, it's something that I've been going on the over for. I've wanted to go on the over for. I don't think I've done it in a video pick. But his minutes are just very much down. He's getting sometimes 14 minutes. Now with Zubats out for this game, we can check out the game log right here. Not the game log, the injuries. With Zubats out, he did get a big boost in minutes with like 29. But now Plumlee's back. So Plumlee's going to kind of seamlessly, go back into that position. They also have Daniel Tice. So the game after that, we saw Westbrook get 22 minutes. So again, he's staying under this 20-minute realm. I think they're projected for him about 20 minutes. So if he's getting only 20 minutes, he should stay under this game. Obviously, he has kind of the potential of going off whenever it is possible. But I like him on the under here. We'll check him out. The hit rate's been great for this. And again, if he's not going to get the minutes, we're looking really good. So under an 8 of the last 10 games. Now, again, pretty consistently under, under by a decent amount. 3.5 points here was the closest he got. Now, he did go off against Minnesota. That was the game without Zubats, and he got 29 minutes. But when Plumlee came back, he only getting 22 minutes, and that was against OKC. So against Brooklyn, it's not the hardest matchup in the world. It's not the easiest, very middle of the road. So I don't expect it to be a blowout. Even if it is a blowout, it's kind of a plus for us anyway, just because I guess I kind of do expect this one to be a blowout. I was going to say, if this is a blowout, that is not bad for us because he's not going to go in and get like garbage time minutes either. They preserve him. They like his spark off the bench. And he comes in and takes these, short little stints. And if he's getting, 20 minutes or under, this is looking really good for us. So even the past 20, it's not bad. 75% of the last 20 since those minutes have been trending downwards. Obviously, great start to the year. Now that they've gotten Harden, the minutes have been, around that 20 mark. So I like this under for Westbrook. Again, the blowout potential is nice as well. I think it's like a 10.5 point spread if we look. Yeah, 10.5 point spread right here. So definitely a solid spot for the under here for Westbrook. And then another line that I kind of like for this one, it might have gotten boosted, so I'm not going to talk too much about it or bumped down, was Paul George and Mikal Bridges' under for a combo. It did get bumped down a little bit to 46.0. It was at 46.5. It was something that I liked. Now, Paul George has kind of been in a rhythm, and they kind of come in games together, whether it's Paul George being the main scorer or Kawhi being the main scorer. If we do want to just open up Paul George's page real quick, we can see those clumps. They kind of happen where Paul George is over his line, and I bet Kawhi would be under his line. But let's go to his 24.5 right here. You can see he's been going pretty well on the over here the past few games. But you can see these clumps, like pretty much 2-game clumps every single time almost he goes over. And he's been pretty good, the past 5 games. So a scarier one in terms of, is Paul George going to go off? He could. It's not the hardest matchup in the world. But with that blowout potential, I was liking the under here. I'll kind of pull it up as a placeholder. I was liking the under here because I like Bridges' under, and the projection models were liking Paul George's under as well. So at 46.5, we were getting great value. It was like a 53.5% chance to hit. Now with this bumped down, it is still projected on the under, but about a 51% chance to hit. So not the best in the world in terms of odds, but the projection models are still loving it. If we look at his points line, 24.5, they're projecting at 23 for Paul George right here, 23. And then if we look at Mikal Bridges, you can see that his points line is also projected on the under for 19.9. So let's say 20. So that'll give us around 43 together, which is pretty, a nice cushion on the under. But again, if you maybe want to just shift to the points line for Mikal Bridges with the blowout potential, with his hit rate being pretty bad the past few games, maybe that's the way to do it. But I ran this combo. Again, 46.5 is a little bit different than 46, but just want to talk about that one a little bit. But let's get into the next line. Let's go to Tyler Hero. This is a line very much based on hit rate, but the odds are also, a little bit on the over as well. 8.5 rebounds, assists. He's been crushing this line pretty much all year. Now with Jimmy Butler and Bam in the lineup, it's not as good, but still pretty consistently on the over. We can see again crushing this line. In the past time, or the last time they played Orlando, he had like 15 RA. So we'll check him out on Outlier. This is a sponsor of the channel. Any of these tools I'm using, guys, they either have a free trial, so Outlier is a 7-day free trial, or if they don't have a free trial like DG Fantasy, they have 25% off your first month. So check out my links in the description for anything like that. Let's go to Hero. Check him out over here. 8.5 rebounds, assists. We can see, again, 8 of the last 10. That's awesome. The last 20, he's gone over in 15 of 20. That's a 75% hit rate. And then 2023 as a whole, gone over in 74% of the games. Now, going up against Orlando, they're a team that doesn't typically allow rebounds and assists. Without Franz Wagner and Gary Harris, that's been a little bit different. And do want to point out, I'm not hiding anything here. Franz Wagner is a game time decision. We haven't seen this in a while. Do I think he's going to play? I don't know. It's a true game time decision here. Questionable, sidelined since January. If he plays, he'll probably be on a minutes restriction is what they're saying. But, if he does play, that makes them back to that team that, doesn't give up a whole bunch of rebounds and assists. They're still solid without him. They're just not as good. So if he doesn't play, it's a plus for us. If he does, it's not the end of the world. But the head-to-head, again, everything looking really good. 12-20, this is about a month ago. Exactly. He had 15 RA against these guys. So definitely solid in terms of the head-to-head. And then also want to point out with Jimmy in the lineup, who has been playing, who has missed a lot of games. So let's go to Jimmy. And with Bam, this does come down. The hit rate does come down. So I want to point it out if it's something that you are wondering about. If I can find Bam. Here we go. The games with both these guys, it's still a 55% hit rate. So not as good, but still, over 50% chance. So I like this hero line. The odds are liking it a little bit as well. It's not like one that's minus 135 that we're getting a ridiculous value on, but we're definitely favored on the over here. If I can find his line, over 8.5 right here, 51.6% chance to hit. Looks like FanDuel's got this at minus 132. Everyone else is around minus 120, 125. So in terms of value, we're definitely getting a little bit, but nothing too crazy. But the hit rate's looking incredible for this one. Lastly, let's go to the projection model over here. Not sure if I did this for Westbrook, but if I did, not. They're projecting 18.7, so just want to point that out. But also the projection model over here. This is RotoWire, if you're wondering. Again, link in the description. But let's go to Hero. That's what I wanted to go to. Tyler Hero right here at RA. Where is he? Right here, they're projecting 9.24. Again, all we need is 9. Hit rate's been incredible. Everything is slightly on the over and looking good for him. So that will be our third play of the day. And then our fourth play, I try to get a fifth one. The board's not as lucrative as I typically see it. So only going to bring you guys 4 today. But I like Durant over 5.0 first quarter points is what I'm going to go to. So let's go to Durant. Great matchup against Indiana in terms of scoring the ball. Going over here, let's check him out on Outlier, and then we'll do the other data points as well. But Durant, obviously 5.0 just seems low when you're thinking about what he's capable of doing. We can see that the RotoWire or Outlier has this at 5.5, so that's good to see. On the over 4.5, we're getting minus 160 value to at least push, which is pretty good. And in terms of the hit rate, 5 of the last 10, not the worst in the world. In terms of the hit rate for the year, 76%. So that's really good, obviously. But again, I'm not like hiding anything from you guys. I'm not like, oh, take this because I want to get a good pick that looks good and hide this bad stuff about it. We want to say that Beal's playing and Booker's playing. So is that a bad thing for this line? Not the best, but not the worst. 50% in the year. He's crushed this line sometimes and gone just under sometimes. So I like the matchup. That's the biggest thing. The hit rate's around 50%. Obviously, 76% on the year, but that's without Beal and Booker in a lot of those games. 29th ranked for Indiana. This would be a high, fast-paced scoring, or fast-paced game in general. I'm not sure what the over/under is in terms of points, but we can check that really quick. Might as well. For points, it's 248. That's definitely the highest. This is 227 for Boston, 227.5 for the Lakers in Portland. 230, yeah, so way, way higher than anyone else. It's just a fast-paced offense. This should be a high-scoring game, and Durant, should be able to get 5 of those things at least in the first quarter. So I like this Durant line in terms of the odds. I believe they'll like it as well. Let's go to Durant over on DG Fantasy, and we're seeing that first quarter points popping right up on his top for him. 52.54% chance to hit. This had more data points earlier. It looks like FanDuel's the only one with it up right now, and they're at 5.5. So again, we're getting a little bit of a discount. Definitely not too bad. We looked at the odds for 4.5. That's like minus 160 value to at least push. And again, we love the matchup today. So Durant, that's going to be our fourth and final play. If you don't want to do the stacking with Goff and Mayfield and Evans and Otten or whatever for the Amon-Ra St. Brown discount, you could maybe throw him in here to get the 5-man. But yeah, we'll go over these like I always do in the next video. But just quickly go over them. Westbrook under 21.5 PRA. Bridges and Paul George on the combo under 46.0. Again, got this at 46.5. So maybe if you want to just go to Bridges, that's fine with me. Hero over 8.5 rebounds and assists. Kevin Durant over 5.0 first quarter points. So a little bit of a later video. That tends to happen on the weekends for me sometimes. But do want to get you guys, something that you guys can run with today. But tons of sports, great playoff football today. Some solid NBA games as well. The Battle of Miami and Orlando should be a fun one. Battle of Florida is what I mean to say. This should be a fun game. This is always a fun game, just seeing their old coach going up against their team. So Ime Udoka is the coach for the Rockets, playing Boston. These guys played each other earlier, and it was kind of the Boston show. They won by like 30, but this is to be a fun one. And then this is obviously the game of the day, Indiana and Phoenix. Hopefully Halliburton plays. We get to see Siakam debut. The other day, he looked really good, but they lost against Portland, actually. But yeah, I'm liking this game. This is probably the one that I watch. And then, of course, the 2 football games. But yeah, that should do it. Hit my links in any of the description links or whatever to get deposit matches for Underdog, for Sleeper, for Chalkboard. Sleeper's still doing that discount for Josh Allen's line. Underdog has a discount for Josh Allen's line as well if you want to run that out. So always throwing promotions at you. It's definitely an advantage to get on all of them or as many as you can. But yeah, hit those links. Helps me out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.